All right, good evening. My name is Dark Knight, and I'll be your caster for this Division C mashup between Ginormous Jaegers and HoTS Tuah. We have both teams getting ready in the lobby. Looks like we're gonna get started shortly, but in the meantime, we can look at some details regarding bans and such. Here's that for you. We did have on the side of Ginormous Jaegers, Garden of Terror and Tomb of the Spider Queen being banned out. From the side of HoTS, we did had Tomb of the Spider Queen and Battlefield of Eternity from HoTS, and then Garden of Terror. Oh, I think I doubled up on one of the maps. Oops. Anyways, I joined it right in the middle of them choosing their particular bans. I'm gonna have to update that. But looks like both teams are ready, and we're gonna get going right away in the draft for game number 1. Right, we do see a Zeratul ban, followed with a Vala ban. Thus far, we have seen, as far as usage rate, I was looking at some of the statistics of bans and such. Vala being one of the heroes, garnering quite a bit of attention when it comes to bans in all of NGS. We do have a Medivh banned out. I very much think that's probably targeted at Ogle.
The crusade calls.
We do have then a Brightwing ban, and that leaves Johanna open. Although Johanna typically, and still probably, I think it's the second most popular hero either in banned or picked, mostly being picked. Johanna not seeing as much success early on. I think there's like a 40% win rate across NGS. I don't know. I can look up the stats for specifically Division C to see. But overall, Johanna's kind of fell off a little bit in the past couple seasons. We do have Stukov and a noob then being picked up. Probably one of Stukov's better maps, especially 2-lane maps, right? The idea is very easy to predict where the opponents are at. You drop your silence puddle pool, and opposing teams don't have as much fun. We did have Jaina and then Rhaegar being then selected on the side of HoTS. And then we do see a Hogger ban. The Hogger, you can argue, is not best map maybe for Hogger. There are some camps and such. That objective makes it kind of weird. The angles for it are not perfect for bouncing around. And that's followed up with the ban of Dehaka.
Here we go again.
Then we do see a Raynor and Chromie pickup. At this point, a very nice combo. We do see an off-lane Chen with the more of the recent, or one of the more recent patches. Got a few buffs, a little bit better in point control and dueling. Still very weak when it comes to clearing waves though, or any type of sieging, but holding a point and dueling other offlaners, Chen definitely has gained a little bit more respect in that particular category. We do have Tychus being the last pick for HoTS. We'll see what they pick for the last and final pick. I imagine you would have to have something that can fight with Chen. I mean, right away it's Samaru or Imperius. Oh, Hoku, yes. It should be 30-second delay. It's yeah, I do have a 30-second delay in chat. And so, yeah, it's going to very much come down to that off-lane matchup, right? The idea is if you're able to win that matchup It then requires the opposing team or the other team to kind of rotate and provide support. But with that, we'll move over to game number 1 on Braxis. I'll see you shortly.
Really good.
Alright, with that, and thanks for the follow, King of HoTS. Welcome. We do have our introduction for both teams. 9.20 on the Nubarag, Gogol the Great on the Chromie, classified on the Sukov, Rainer, played by Nemesis and Gambit on Imperius. We do have then Vextha on Reguar, Mimius on the Tychus, Cyanide on the Jaina, and Codename Zero on the Johanna. You have the Chen being played by Chicken Meow Meow. Right away, having to deal with a 2 offlaners, or a 2-3 split being played on the side of. But with that, it does bring a slight advantage to the 4-man bot. So, see how they're able to deal. Let me know how the volume is. I've been having a couple issues with volume the past couple casts, and when I test it, it sounds fine, but I guess when I do it live, something changes. The volume for in-game is either off or too loud or too low. So let me know how it sounds. We do have the trap. Oh, a self-trap! I was gonna say good job by the Chromie on the opposing team, but actually Ogl trapped their own tank. By the way, we do see in the top, getting that camp, Chen will be able to cap, and it looks like they're gonna get a little bit of that objective going. Although the idea between the 2-3 likely is obviously you're trying to get some sort of advantage, right? And you're not necessarily trying to get the whole thing at once. We do see now 2 members, or 1 member, of HoTS rotating up, but now with Jaina going up there to kind of help clear that camp, as I mentioned before. Now we see a full rotation, so actually we have the 4-man now move up. So then the 2 members of Jaegers having to back off, and Chen now able to very much take on no one, right? Not being contested for that point. We do have a noob actually able to interrupt and save that full objective by the, or almost got the full objective, but it was stopped by the noob. So a little bit of a Uno, right? Uno reverse. Or role reversal. But they did pick up that bottom camp, which will, again, Chen not having an amazing wave clear will need a little bit of help. And now we see the 4-man now rotating down all the way. That allows the top to be capped. I'm able to get Johanna briefly in stasis, and now again. So we were definitely going to see this back and forth. Both teams getting a little bit of that channeling, with a slight favor for Jaegers. And so Jaina getting really low does go down, and first blood does go in favor of Jaegers. And all the while we do have Chen having to deal with the Rainer and the Imperious off lane, not able to do much. This is like kind of the awkward situation when you're dealing with that 2-3, in that you kind of have to either send someone else to help that Chen, or kind of risk losing that top fort early on, and Rainer right away firing and able to get just almost half or over half, right? Leaving about maybe a third, and Jaina does go up there to kind of help provide some support. Imperius tries to go in with the spear, not able to land that, but Rainer getting low, does get hit a little bit by the blizzard from Jaina, but now we see the counter push bottom lane from HoTS, and we miss a little bit of the action on top. This is not your typical 1v1 off lane matchup where two off laners just slap each other for, you know, an hour. There's actually a 2v2, a little bit more action goes on. We have Chromie rotate up to try and again provide some support. So both teams playing this little bit of a chess matchup, trying to rotate members to support. And this is actually what makes obviously this particular map a little bit more interesting. If you look at if you watch HGC and other Pro-Am type of leagues, you very much see this type of gameplay where teams are kind of rotating back and forth and trying to get an advantage. We do have Chen running low, and the kill is secured by Chromie, but we do have Tychus now on the fort, and now they're trying to get a little bit back of that advantage. Rhaegar able to get back down. So Skuhov has to be a little bit careful. We do have the early level 10 event coming in for Chromie, and it looks like, I imagine, would be Loop, right? Maybe Loop or Slowing Sands. You can make the case for both. Obviously, with the cleanse, Slowing Sands, maybe the slight better choice here. So, and the Johanna. We do have Tychus trying to rotate a noob, was trying to catch that Tychus in that kind of weird rotation. We do have now again that battle of Imperius and Rainer versus Chen and Jaina, still going up top. Members of Jaegers getting low, that Stukov able to get away, but actually there's so much action going on. We do have everyone going down. And then Rainer and Jaina do go down. Imperius able to hold on, but that Chen is very, very low. You just want to, you want to be able to, oh no! There you go. And able to get the trade top and secure it. And yeah, this is the kind of situation that obviously Jaegers, although you don't want to see any deaths, that's a trade you will take. The issue being for HoTS Tuah, they don't really have anybody who can really put any threat on that Chromie. And then with that, first fort actually goes during the objective to Jaegers. We did have Stukov go down, Jaina coming down, but you have 10s online for Jaegers with Slowing Sands, Angelic Armaments, Wailing Swipe, Cocoon, and Hyperion. Level 10's just a little bit away for HoTS Tuah, but good job on the part of Jaegers securing that first objective, being able to execute that 2-3 and get an early fort and also get a complete objective. That's kind of the ideal situation in this particular map. Although Brax's holdout isn't as bad as it used to be, it's still a potentially snowbally map. If you could get any early advantage, it can lead to some big problems. We do have Gambit kind of cut out in the battle rotation. He does come in for this spear, does land it on the Stukov. We have like two fights going on right in different places. Jaina getting rather low and will be going down, while Imperius able to distract 3 members of HoTS Tuah, and that leads to a death of Johanna. So Jaeger's able to kind of pour it on now. Maybe a calculated distraction by Imperius to get 3 members of HoTS Tuah to go after him, but was able to get away. Oh, I'm not doing anything to OBS. So that's interesting. Thank you for letting me know. Like I said, my OBS has been kind of weird, so I need to figure it out. But I haven't touched anything besides switching screens. We do have the successful invade. Sukov caught off in a weird spot. We do have Ring of Frost coming out, but the two members of HoTS are getting rather low. Tychus is cocooned, and all by themselves. We have the puddle being dropped, and likely will be going down. Oh, you refresh Twitch? We do see now Jaegers moving on to the top keep, trying to secure. We do have Chen with barrel roll able to get the noob out and back into the team, and down goes a noob. Now with the members of Jaegers trying to back off. Stukov looks like they're going to be caught out. We do have a 2-for-none trade that does help close that gap. Jaegers trying to cap the top. It looks like, wow, they do move to boss right away. Yeah, they should be fine. They have quite a bit of burn. I would say it was a little bit they are able to get the boss, but we do see some pressure top lane, and so one of the members of HoTS will have to go back and respond to that. We do have the boss going top lane. Your Jaegers, likely you see a slight split, maybe potentially look to engage here. We do have the Mokat now get on point. Oh, we do have the Johanna does get caught out and does go down, although if you're Jaegers, you want to get in this point as soon as possible. Chen able to capture the bottom. And now we kind of play this game of ring around the rosy. Although slightly in favor of we have a noob, a little bit extended. Does cocoon the Tychus, and they focus on the Jaina. Jaina now being stunned by the Imperius. A good ice block, and then the Ring of Frost to follow up. It does go down. It does trade with the two Stukov. Ogre the Great kind of caught up in a bad location. Chen using barrel to kind of create some chaos. We do have now Rainer going down, and Imperius in a very weird or odd situation. We have a new potentially going to be able to kind of maybe delay this cap, and the Imperius actually able to get the Tychus. One of those, I'm not trapped with you, you're trapped with me. We have level 16s that will be slightly in favor as of right now for Jaegers, so we do have a full now cap of the objectives by HoTS, but we do have the members of Jaegers now trying to cap. A noob able to get a stun, but Rhaegar in no real danger. Now we have Chromie. Now we have a 4v2, so if you want to go on this, right? You do want to cap that point. Now, Chen is there. We do have the barrel roll now, kind of, again, created some chaos. A noob kind of caught out in a weird situation. Tychus does get cocoon again. We do have a 4v5 with Imperious bot. The Slowing Sands. Oh, that Johanna able to use Unstoppable. And then Ancestral Healing does go out. We do. Jaegers are going to have to probably back off. It's a 4v5. Can't really do much here. I didn't mention the level 10s. We do have Blessed Shield, Odin, Ancestral Healing, Ring of Frost, obviously, and Keg. You see now, HoTS trying to get some advantage top. The time trap on the Johanna. Johanna going in and with Unstoppable. Now, if you're Johanna, you want to be careful because now you don't have Unstoppable anymore. And will be going down. 50 HP does go down, but Stukov also goes down. Jaina as well. HoTS able to steal that top camp, and now Rainer able to get a very good Q to secure themselves. They likely would have gone down if it wasn't for that very good Q by Rainer to kind of disengage. Now, Rhaegar going down, and a lot of... These are the kind of fights you like to see, right? Lots of brawl. We don't like to see those matches where it's 2 to 3 deaths. Very clean and efficient fights. No, we like to see these brawls. You do have Chen at the bottom. And you'll be able to kind of barrel over to kind of stop the full... and here, again, if you're Jaegers, you're going to start looking around, see if you can catch any of the members of HoTS out of rotation. So now we're going to have that quote Mexican standoff. Jaina, no! Okay. I was going to say, is anybody from Jaegers going to do anything? That Jaina literally walked all the way up to the bush and kind of said hi and then almost walked away. But we'll be paying the price of not checking the bush. We do have a very good engage and the silence follow-up. And the Johanna... very tanky, but not tanky when you can't press your buttons, right? When you're silenced and stunned. And with that, it will give this most of the second objective, right, to Jaegers. It looks like they're thinking about doing boss potentially. I mean, they could. There's nothing really the HoTS to it. They're not going to see if they're... Oh, and very good. Now they're... Okay, now... If you're HoTS Tuah, you gotta start thinking of, hey guys, you know, hey peeps, we gotta, let's not walk into bushes anymore. Chen, traveling around the world. Chromie, trying, oh no, I don't know if Chromie wants to fight a Chen by themselves, and then, oh, we do have Chromie going down, and if all the members of Jaegers were there, likely Chen would have been dead, but instead... As I mentioned with those buffs that Rhaegar got, we do have the cocoon. I mean, I do like that cocoon. Maybe a little, yeah, Rhaegar would have gone away, but they have to get this killed in. But also, you are giving up that bottom keep likely. I don't think they get there in time. So even though Jaegers got the full objective, Jaegers were a little bit too focused on getting the kill on Chen and afterwards on Rhaegar, and sacrificing their bottom key for that, so not ideal. We did get a little bit of damage on top for HoTS Tuah. Yeah, face tank Jaina. Especially with a noob Imperious Stukov, that's not something you want to do. Even for Johanna, that's not very safe. You have Chromie putting Slowing Sands on the boss to see if they potentially want to step up. Both teams kind of checking on the other. Although we did have Jaegers with a slight advantage experience now leveled off. Both just a little bit above, or just under halfway, level 19. So we're going to kind of see the late game kind of, you know, sitting around, And buying your time, getting that soak and trying to get to level 20 first. And then we do have the Rhaegar trapped there. Then Gage just follow up. We were able to get away. Jaina able to use the Ring of Frost. A little bit of counter synergy there. I think there was 2 members, right, trapped, it seemed. But able to get the Stukov out of position. We do have level 20s online with Purifying Brew, Ice Blink, Farseers, Blessing, Big Red Button, and Blinded by the Light. Johanna will be able to provide a little bit more sustain during those team fights. Also able to secure the boss, but Jaegers are still not quite in a bad position. They will have to defend this top. We do have objective coming up. More so, they want to make sure they're not staggering any deaths now, because yeah, pretty much staggering any deaths that are staggered right now pretty much likely leads to the other team getting a full objective, and at this point, very difficult to defend. We do see boss being aided by Tuah. Without Rainer, we do see Keg upgrade in that time trap. Oh no! In a kind of unfortunate situation, aided the Jaina in landing that Ring of Frost, and now the members of Jaegers having to retreat, but it looks like the court call is being called, and with Big Red Button, a boss with half health, and another camp as well. Very difficult defense. We do have Rainer trying to do their best to get on that Jaina, but you do, unfortunately, I think it's going to be a little bit too little, too late for them. And game number 1 going to be going to HoTS Tuah. So a very exciting game 1. Lots of brawling going on. We did see early on Jaegers applying the 2-3 and able to get quite a bit of success early on, and able to secure that top fort and the full objective, and so very strong start. However, late game we did see a turnaround with HoTS Tuah able to get some picks, aided by that Chen. And then late game obviously secured some kills, able to get the boss twice, and then rode the boss top lane to end the matchup and secure the win. You do have the performance here by the different players on the team. Mogul on Chromie, able to get quite a bit of damage. So it was very difficult, very much for the team to get there. Very much was dependent on Chen be able to get in that backline to disrupt. Chen was able to get quite a few picks on that Stukov. We do see Stukov going down quite a bit. With the healing, seems on par. Obviously, the soaking and XP such in this 2-lane map is a little bit less relevant, more dependent on the objective, right? Leave it there on talents for you to view. For the most part, I think everything looks good. We do see, yeah, pretty much everything looks pretty standard. We didn't see Stukov go low blow. I don't think it made too much of a difference. But I did like that initial plan of a 2-3 early on. Okay, let's see. And I need to update the whole situation with the maps that were banned. I don't have the correct one. I'm missing one at least. So we'll go back to the map pick view. Looks like we're going to be going to Alterac Pass. And it was picked by HoTS Tuah. So like I said earlier, very much I did like that 2-3 split. Indeed, we're able to get quite a bit of a good advantage early on, but once we got level 10s and other talents came online, Hatsue was able to take advantage of. Jaina got some pretty good Reno Frost, given that there weren't, I think either just because there was so much chaos, I never really saw the kind of the very clear Johanna Blessed Shield engage into the Ring of Frost, which is likely what you want. It looks like, from what I saw at least, Jaina was able to get quite a few different, maybe slightly aided or just very kind of solo Ring of Frost. And so we move from Braxis Holdout, which in general, from experience and conversations, I think is one of the most banned or maps in NGS. No one really likes playing on Braxis, and so it's always a treat when we do see people go to Braxis. It's one of those maps I think people just always groan of doing it, just because it's such a very odd map. But as you saw in this previous match, a really good showcase on the potential, right? It's not just a 4-in-1 lane map. There's a lot of diversity that technically you can do on Braxis. The one thing about Braxis, though, it's a map that rarely goes to 30 minutes. So cough Volskaya, cough Guardian of Terror. So if you don't want to have a 30-minute match, you avoid Volskaya and Guardian of Terror usually. Of course, I've said that before in the past, and I think I mentioned that Volskaya was one of the longest maps, and I think there was like a 12-minute match that also happened before. So with that, Alterac tends to be kind of in the middle. It does tend to go a little bit later. Oh yeah, I need to kind of give the prizes and the predictions. Choose outcome. We got HoTS Tuah winning. We'll start a prediction for game number 2. Looks like both teams are in, and we're going to get started shortly into game number 2. I think I have my settings wrong as far as who won and who picked what. There you go. All right, we're on our way now to game number 2. Moving over to our draft screen. We do right away see the Brightwing band, followed by the Hogger band. That's likely being the quote Hogger map. Although if you're a Hogger player, you'll say that every map's a Hogger map. Obviously, that one camp on this particular map is almost like a mini kind of boss, right? That camp can actually do quite a bit of push if left unattended. I think I've been in a situation where I've seen a camp unattended mid lane pretty much reach a keep, destroyed a fort, and went to keep pretty much the first one by itself.
I stand ready.
I think there's a few other factors played a role, but pretty powerful. And Hog are able to kind of solo that camp pretty much from level 1. One of the few heroes that can do that with very little problem. We do have the Medivh ban and followed up with a Vala. So, as I mentioned before, Vala typically a high pro hero, either banned or picked. With that, we do see Samru coming out, and this is one of Samru's probably better maps. And again, if you're a Samru player, you'll say that every map's a Samru map, but the larger the map, the better for Samru. Able to take advantage of the ability to cloak, run around, and I was going to say, yeah, you're going to want to think about some of the counters for Sam. Although you wouldn't say it's a true counter, Sonya, one of the heroes or offlaners that can usually deal with Samru a little bit better. You have Stukov and a Cho'Gall band. So maybe looks like Jaegers did a little bit of homework and were able to sniff out a potential pick, but we do see the Stitches and Falstad. Obviously, globals being always a big priority on large maps. Missed out on the Anduin pick. Do have an Anduin. It looks like we're gonna have like the hook and gorge and pull combo, right? With light bomb. Sounds easier than done. I've been in those situations where you try to do those and the timing can be a little bit off. And we have a Muradin and Orphea. So this is very interesting. I would have thought that, I mean, with the Samru and a Stitches, you know, there's not much peel, right? Besides Stitches' big body. And now Chromie being picked by the sides of HoTS Tuah. So interesting. I mean, both have a pretty solid. It's going to come down to, can Jaegers deal with the Samru pushing while the rest of the team tries to kind of manage the rest of the map. And so with that, we'll see you shortly in game number 2 of this matchup. All right, we're back for game number 2 on Altruck Pass. Those of you joining us, this is a matchup between Ginormous Jaegers and HoTS Tuah Division C. Game number 1 going over to the side of HoTS Tuah on Braxis Holdout. We'll start with our introductions of both teams. We have a Nemesis on the Vala, Gambit on the Sonya, Classified on the Stukov, 9.20 on the Muradin, and Ogle the Great on the Orphea. On the side of HoTS Tuah, we have Mebius on the Falstad, Vexa on the Anduin, Chicken Meow. on the Stitches, Cyanide on the Chromie, and Codename Zero on the Samru. Right, we do see the offlaners get off. And so both offlaners are in an interesting spot, because typically in these maps you see the offlaner for the blue team usually be on bot, right? Because then they want to rotate to the camp. The offlaner for the red team usually is on top, so they can do their camp. And we do have the camps coming in right away, right? At the 1 minute mark, both teams now starting over. You have Balisad moving over, Vala and Sukov doing theirs. So both teams got that timing down. You want to get that camp out on cooldown as much as possible. We do see Orphea now dealing with the bottom push of Samru. I guess that's one thing that Orphea can get a little bit of can do quite a bit of damage to that Samru if they're not careful. When we look at the level 1s, we do see Sukov again going with reactive ballista spores, not going for low blow. One of the more common level 1s for Sukov. And now with that mid camp, we see both teams now move to either defend or help aid their camps. We do have Chromie top lane anchoring for HoTS versus the Sonya. Sonya just kind of keeping back. Kind of difficult to get to that Chromie, at least now. Orphea kind of laning against... They're both teams mages laning against the opposing team. What I've seen in Trash Can Elo is Bruiser's 1v1 top damage and heal to camp, but this is competitive. I'm not familiar what Trash Can Elo is. That's all of ranked, right? Kappa. I mean, there's different strategies. Obviously, if you have an offlaner who is not able to kind of solo the camp, then yeah, it's up to kind of the DPS and a healer to usually do it. Sonya has a little bit trouble kind of doing it rather efficiently early on, at least at 4. Later on, it's not a big problem. Samru really has a hard time early. Later on, again, it's not a problem. So I think in this situation, it's more so just because both offlaners are not amazing at doing the camp. We do have Raka. Thank you for the raid. Hope your cast went well. I know you have a cast later on. Likely returning that favor later. So those of you that are joining us, welcome. This is game number 2 of this Division C matchup between Jaegers, Ginormous Jaegers, and HoTS Tuah. Our game number 1 was on Braxis. Win in favor of HoTS Tuah. Now we're in game number 2 on All Track Pass. And that is the value that... Well, I was walking in, everybody who joined us. Sam were able to kind of cap the objective on their own. Kind of caught it in a bad situation. Oh no. Okay. Sam does get pulled by the Anduin, but not ideal, right? You're not wanting to use your pull on an Anduin going down, getting melted by that Vala. He did have Samru kind of go back and backdoor cap that objective. Obviously, Samru very much known for being a pest. We did get Vala hooked over the wall, something you do have to be careful, especially against the Stitches. Oh! We did have Sonya go down being chased by the Felstad. Something that's been going on now that you see as a kind of a consistent theme. A lot of chaos, a lot of 1v1s going on. It's a caster. have to pick and choose my battles, right? Of which one's the most interesting to cast. We do have bottom being again secured, and the pull again on the Samru. Like I said, you probably want to save that for your Chromie or someone else. Oh no, the members of Jaegers being bunched up and able then to get kind of in a weird situation, get slowed. We do have level 10s online for HoTS, and there's that combo. I said we're gonna have the Gorge Light Bomb. HoTS able to execute it. Not an easy thing. It takes a little bit of practice. We do have Gorge, Mighty Gust, Light Bomb, Slowing Sands, and Blade Storm. So we are gonna have not the team fight Samru, but the just... I'm very biased because I play Samru, and the Blade Storm build I always call the meme build. After some of the changes, it's obviously a little bit better. I'm very biased towards the team fight build of Samru. But, as you'll see, in very large maps, Samru can get value on these. We do have most of the members of HoTS to a mid, getting that push. The hook on the Muradin, which is fine, right? If it's going to land on somebody, landing on that Muradin is good. Level 10s are coming online. We have Flailing Swipe, Avatar, Rain of Vengeance. Looks like a mid fort will be going down the hook. Likely targeting the Vala. Goes down. Sonya was able to get a pretty good clear on top, and so bottom got a little bit of damage. Oh. Arfia is kind of in a weird spot, but fortunately doesn't check that bush. Any bush face checkers in chat? Those that missed it. Game number 1, we had quite a few unfortunate situations of people checking bushes. We have Stitches. Stitches actually, if you go the right talents, let me see, did Stitches go, quote, not right, but the talents, okay, it didn't go Bile. So this is the slower one. If it was the Bile build, actually Stitches camp clear, camp caps are not as slow as you would think. With the kind of the full kind of Hungry for More healing build, it's a little bit slower. I mean, overall, Stitches has pretty good damage and clear. We have members of... The objective is going to be top, so it looks like they're trying to maybe look to see if they're doing bottom boss or something, or if it does go bot. Only check bush with face. And mine is running wild. We do have both camps were secured, but mid camp for... Oh no, there's a slight difference in the timing. This is slightly better. They were able to get this camp. It will get a little bit of push, I think. We do have Samru doing Samru things. So this is kind of like one of those things where you kind of have to if you play the game of trying to follow around the Sam, usually it's not a good outcome for the team, the opposing team against the Sam, because if you're just chasing the Sam, you lose both objective and soak. So you really want to just do this. You just want to get in fights. We do have a very good gust disengage. We did have internal feast. Oh, and Anduin and Falsec go down. We do have that. One of the members are going to have to back up. We have Chromie in a very weird spot. Is Chromie going to be able to get away? Able to put those traps. Yeah, very smart. Putting those traps down. A lot of people don't realize that Chromie is actually decent at sieging. Especially if you take the 3 talents for your time traps. You have 3 traps. Each trap takes 3 tower shots. So if you put 3 traps down, that's 9. That's like having beetles, right? So Chromie is actually pretty good. I don't see many Chromies do that, actually. Of course I do. Of course. Oh, very good lead. Engage with the Devouring Ball, and nice combo. We do have the Gorge on the Murden. It also does go down, gussing the team into their fort. The second objective... Wait, is this the first? Yeah, it's the second objective. I was gonna say, we do see them... Oh! Damage. Kind of low there. They should be able to clear this. They do have to be careful, though. Murden does have avatars. Uh-oh. We do have members... This might be kind of a weird, this is, you know, it's one of those boss situations. Do you really want to fight over this? And the Samurai goes down, but Stitches is there now. Avatar now finally is used. Leap onto the Chromie. Chromie getting kind of low. Oh, we have a bye-bye. The Meridian does go down, and the Gorge, they're still fighting over the boss. But this is not a good... So we saw the potential throw pit, right? As they call it. And then the reverse throw pit. And then the reverse throw pit. I mean, we can't say that this isn't exciting. Having teams play it safe and not brawl for 2 minutes at the boss is not fun. And so... do have a boss and objective still pushing top, so this keep is gonna be gone. We'd have leap and internal feast. Can be so. This has to be obviously crater. When you have feast, you have to go crater. You have to. It's mandatory. Oh, Sukov. Uh-oh. I mean, nice sleep to kind of prevent... I mean, Murden should be okay. Light Bomb on the Anduin, but members trying to disengage the Sukov in a very bad spot will be going down, and the Chromie... Oh, sorry, and the Vala going down. We hit Samru. So you see, even at level 17... or 18, Samru... Ginormous Jaegers say thank you, Samruth, for starting that camp for us. Opting to not endanger themselves, walks away, which is the right move. There's no point of dying for that. We do have Tuah now moving to the bottom boss. We'll be picking this up. Our Samruth is not going to have to deal with the slight push. Although on this particular map, as everybody probably knows, right, your keep, unlike other maps, regenerates. So any damage will regenerate. You also have these armor. One of the more difficult maps to end early because of that reason. You can't really just kind of push one lane all the way to the end because of the armor. So again, one of the maps that tends to go to level 20 most of the time. Also can last quite a bit of time. Again, Chromie showcasing the power of the traps for sieging, able to secure the top, help balance out some of that passive push on top lane. And level 20s are about to be online for Tuah, so we do have the hook. Yeah, as I say, they're gonna have to eat an objective, but that's fine. Ideally, it would have been Murden, because Murden obviously used a base kit to get out. Sonya having to use a leap. Not ideal, but still it's fine. We do have now the hook and the Eternal Feast onto the Vala. Not able to get in. Yeah, that's a. We do have level 20s now, so we do have Samurai trying to cap. And this is kind of like the. Although it's nice to have Samurai back cap, very much I would like to see, you know, the help here. It's working out more so because of the level advantage and the tier advantage, right? But that's a situation where it was a 4v5 after the early kill. You just go back as if you're Samurai and secure the kills, right? We do have Orphea still running away. I mean, you're in the. If you're Orphea, you just want to. You're in no person's land. Does go down. Pretty staggered death. And it looks like likely the second objective going to be going to HoTS Tuah. Olympic gold judo medal throws. Yeah, on that boss pit for sure. We have both teams trying their best to throw there. Oh, what's going on with my cast here? We do have Orphea still staggered out about 20 seconds. The hook on the Stukov, but able to not. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to get away, but now Vala doing some damage and work on that. Valstad gets pulled in. Internal Feast gets used, but Murden. Oh, that Orphea damage. Like Orphea did go the Lurking Terror. Yeah, that Lurking Terror damage almost took out the Valstad and. We did see Seneca Warpaint, Shadow Fury, and Poison Spear, which for the most part is the usual build. Usually we see the blocking. Although versus a Samurai, often you do see the E build being selected, just because you're able to sustain yourself a little bit more against a Samurai. We do have Stukov a little bit away. The leap, combo, jump, and with the level 20 wind tunnel, right? So we do have level 20s online. It was Master Hooker, Wind Tunnel, Inner Fire, Unraveling, and Wind Strider. We have Monster Within, Composite Spear. We didn't have no crater. What? No crater? Yeah, I called it. We needed a crater for that Internal Feast. Control Chaos, Unstoppable Force, and Acrobat. With 2 members down, we do see Jaegers take advantage. Although they're going to have to deal with some of this push. Bottom keep will be going down. Then they have this bottom camp. It'll put a little bit of pressure. I mean, with this middle camp, it can be dangerous, especially with 2. I mean, Sonya is back, so it'll be fine. But all that damage it did earlier did get healed up. We do have Stitches. If you are Jaegers, you want to cap as much as you can, and then potentially look to disengage. If you're HoTS Tuah, you want to go in now. You saw the Sonya was bought. They're split. You have an advantage. I mean, Anduin's a little bit behind, but you still have a little bit of time before they get in. We do now see the team fight that's likely going to be deciding the outcome of this particular match. This Stukov does go down a little bit. Samurai focusing on the Stukov. Murden desperately trying to provide peel. The Samurai gets the unkillable. I think they would have been fine, but the unkillable did not hurt. We do have the boss on the core, but with 2 armor plates still should be fine. But again, if you are Jaegers now, you want to. Oh, the Anduin! In a very rough spot. We do have the leap and then the wind tunnel, but it looks like the lurking chaos / Stukov damage. We do have a little bit of a push on Jaeger's keep. It should be okay, right? I mean, with 1 armor, yeah, it's fine. We did have Sonya go back and respond to this, but that leaves a little bit of a split. That Sukov again going down. That Samru is focusing. The Sukov trying to run in circles. The Faltak did get stunned. Oh, oh. Sukov, a magnet for the chromie damage, and then we do have Samru now trying to focus. Does secure the kill on the Vala. Orphea does get gorged. In an unfortunate situation. With Sonya having to back up to deal with a little bit of the push, I think you just go. I mean, you just go core. There's the objective. They're a little. I guess they're a little bit low without Anduin. Yeah. Maybe you have a Samru. So this is where your team fight Samru is better because your clones have more health. You a little more damage. You go on core. But I think they'll be fine. We did have the Sonya. Sonya has sleep up, or doesn't have leap. Use leap. So you want to be careful. Sonya can go down and wouldn't be ideal. We do have them on core now. I mean, core now takes a little bit more damage, only with 1 armor, but we do have the Sonya being hooked. Sonya desperately trying to spin for survival. We do have Sukov come in to try to use some of the pushback. And the keep is going down, but we do have the Anduin go down again. Vala is gorged. We do have Windtunnel come out with 5,000 on the core. All the members of... Oh, that keep is so low. Go in, Samru, do it. Go in, do it. Oh, you gotta... Yeah. Samru not wanting to risk it. I mean, the objective is coming in. You have to like push out. You don't want it to crash. You want to be mindful of that Samru because Samru can end. Stukov using flailing swipe to kind of push the mobs back. I mean, we do have a level 23 Vala. Did go Monster Hunter, so should make quick work of this. Now Samru trying to go in. I was like, no. Your time to end already passed. When the core was 2,000 HP, that was your time to end. Not when it has, what is it now at? 12,000. Yeah. I mean, you can still do quite a bit of push. And now Samru's just going to do the... I'm just going to constantly push your waves back. And I don't know, this... I'll say that's a little ambitious. See, the power of Samru kind of ends, especially on this particular map, at the core, right? Because what you can only push so much. Once you, I mean, as we said, 25-minute now match. We do have Jaegers moving bot. I think they should have seen Samru top. So I mean, you just want to be like, hey, can we bait them in and go at them or something? You want to be careful, obviously, of the engage. They do have wind tunnel, so you don't want to... You have Murden trying to land a stun on the Stitches, able to get the combo. Stitches... They do land the... We have Samru now here. You want to be mindful of your positioning, because you don't want to be caught out by that wind tunnel, right? We do have the hook. Miss. Looks a pretty decent job here by Jaegers. Hiding. We do now have Wind Tunnel on the Stukov, cut out of location. And the follow-up. Lots of chaos going on. We do have the Sonya go down. Vala does go down. Murden trying to kind of peel for the Orphea. But at this point, looks like GG's being called out. We do have light bomb being used. Murden, it's up to you. I think this is where Haymaker would have been a huge play, right? And with that, we do see the members of HoTS Tuah on the core. I mean, this core is not the easiest to end, but it looks like they should be fine. Rather than going down, that pretty much secures it. It's more of a matter of time. And game number 2 going to HoTS Tuah. So let's see. We're going to go over to our game summary. A little bit, again, very exciting, very even a matchup. Game number 1 slightly going in the favor of, very much at the beginning going in the favor of Jaegers, and HoTS was able to turn it around. Very much here, same case. HoTS was able to get a little bit of advantage, but then able to flip it. Looking at some of the statistics, we do have Arfia at the top with Chromie and Falstad. Both teams really good job of providing a very entertaining matchup, at least, right? Lots of brawling. 17-22 in kill count in favor of HoTS Tuah. Actually, I want to go back to look at the healing. About similar, right? Both healers were targeted quite a bit. Both Sukov and Anduin going down 6 times. We did have Samru slightly ahead. You can say that the collective Orphea and Sonya Soak was pretty much the same as the collective Falstad and Samru Soak. Overall, did a pretty good job of mitigating the Samru kind of push. As I mentioned earlier, very much you want to take advantage of Samru not being there and kind of, win team fights. Like you very much want to just win team fights and then counter push the Samru. So they were able to do that to some extent, but obviously HoTS Tuah was able to make some plays. I'll leave you off right now with the talent screen while we get in lobby to chat with one of the members of HoTS Tuah. Let's see, we're in lobby 2. Oh, there you go. I thought there was another party. Yeah. I was looking at the lobbies. I'm like, oh, there's 3 people in one lobby. Yeah, there must be another interview going on or something. And then I just saw your name, and I'm like, oh, never mind. There's a party going on. But anyways, congrats on your 2-0 domination tonight.
Thanks.
How are you feeling?
Yeah. Pretty good.
A little lucky to make it out of that.
Yeah, that was a very, I would say probably, how would you say this is how you expected the match to have gone?
No, not really.
No.
Yeah. Before we
With
move,
how far behind we got on Praxis, I feel like we definitely didn't really deserve to end up 2-0 for sure.
Great. And so maybe to get us going with the conversation, going on back to game number 1, a little bit of a different look that you don't see too often. If you can walk us through, what were you kind of thinking, and how would you think of kind of mitigating what was going on on Praxis? At least the early part of the match.
I just kept complaining about how hard it was to 2v1 and yelled at the team to send somebody top to help me. And I think Cyanide came up.
As an offlaner myself that I play, I completely agree with that. It's not my fault. It's your fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was yelling about top lane, and I was yelling about us not winning bottom, and I was like, we got to figure out one of these 2 things, and we didn't, so I rotated. Very
true. That's like the worst of the scenario, right? If you're losing top and you're losing bottom, you got to do something different. So yeah, very much that early part of the match went in the favor of Jaegers. But what do you think was the key moment where it kind of switched? Because it seems like there was a kind of a switch of momentum towards the later of the game.
They got full wave on us, and Chicken managed to get on the backside of their team and just start running. They chased him, and he picked off Chromie, and we cleared the entire wave for free. And that is absolutely the moment that it changed.
Yeah, I did point that out because I did kind of follow the camera to see where Chicken on Chen was trying to do, and I was like, oh, this is where you play the Benny Hill music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're able to distract them. I mean, you did your job. You distracted them and got a free clear on a full wave.
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
I
Yeah,
did.
definitely turned around at that point.
I did want to say that although they had a chromie and it was kind of difficult to get to the chromie, when you have a Chen, you have an opportunity, right? Especially with Keg, to kind of pick off particular heroes. Is that what was you were trying to do, right? I saw you pretty much focus on the Stukov, which is obviously what you want to do. Is that very much what you were doing in that particular sequence?
Yeah, Chromie was typically off camera, so I couldn't even see where she was. But the Stukov was typically up pretty far with his bruiser and his tank. So that was just the closest squishy target that wasn't on the other side of Sowing Sands.
Yeah, very good. And you get some very good pickoffs on Stukov, and I think Stukov went down like 4 or 5 times in that particular matchup. Obviously, you're able to get the boss, push to top, and then end. So very much a good kind of turn of events, given how the map was going early on. So moving over now to game number 2, it's picked by you, right? Yeah, it was picked by you. I ended up messing up the bands. I think I got one of the bands wrong, but it's fine. So you went there. So we see the Samru pick, which I do approve of. Right away, did you have an idea? Yeah, we're going to go to this. We're going to have Samru right away. It's kind of the...
Yeah, that was the plan from the beginning on Alterac, was to lock Samuro in early and then to build a 4-man Stitches comp. And then the Falstad kind of just fills in for the missing wave clear and map presence that only having one Mecha hero and Samuro is not ideal on a feeling map, right?
Yeah. And Falstad has a very nice shoot button, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if we get caught in a bad spot like 5v4, Falstad saves us from it.
It's nice to have a team with like 4 shoot buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time you took the chromie, so you kind of flipped that particular. And so for the most part, I think, or at least what I saw, right, you were trying to get the kind of stall objective as much as possible, and then get the push right with the Samuru.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to sell the objective there, our Samuro just goes and is annoying all over the map, and if you chase him, you lose because you'll never catch him because he's Samuro. And then if you leave, we win objective, and if you stay, then you lose your fort. And that's just kind of a great way to play that map. Yeah,
and so something they didn't mention is it's one of those kind of like catch-22 situations when you're dealing with some of these heroes like Samuru, right, and TLV, where it's like you kind of have to either we're going to bite the bullet and give up some structures, but we have to win, right, objective or whatever it be, or we go and deal with a Samuru and they win objective. So I think they did a decent job for the most part. But how about in this match? Do you think there was one particular moment that you felt like either oh crap we messed up or oh crap we did well?
There's a lot. There are a lot of like somebody being out of position and everybody reacting like, oh no, step back, you're out of position. And then, because we had the tools to save people, like with Helping Hand and Gust, when they would chase on that target that was out of position, they would put themselves in a bad spot. They might walk into a corridor with Slowing Sands or something like that. And we actually ended up turning around a lot of those fights. So it felt pretty good.
I will say that fight over the top boss was very entertaining, at least. So I don't think anybody is going to complain about how entertaining that fight top went.
Yeah.
It looks like both teams were initiating their own trap cards of, we started the boss, maybe we shouldn't have, we're going to lose it. And you're going to take it, oh no, you went a little bit too far. No. There's a lot of counter, as people in the chat said, a lot of counter throwing going on there. Quote here, right? The infamous pit throw boss, right? Or throw pit. But with that, you were able to kind of secure, get the push with the Samuru. When you have the keep exposed, at least for your own team, right? When do you say, hey, we're going to go in and finish? Because it seemed like you had the potential to finish a couple times and you opted not to.
There was, I think, the one time where we were debating it, like really debating it, we were just before level 20.
Yeah.
So we said, let's get 20 and let's play this map and make sure that we don't blow this, especially after, like, as you said, kind of counter throwing each other. It's like, let's not do that again. Because the only thing that makes us lose this game at that point is a team wipe. Like,
Yeah.
you can't have it.
Yeah, the keep went down to almost, I think, 2,000 HP health, so you get relatively low. I was calling for Samir to go in. I mean, you're like, you got to go in, Samir. And so this is where the other ult for Samir, would have done the job. But anyways, yeah, you got to just play the map and play to your advantages, and I think you were able to do that well. There was a potential for them to kind of win that map at the end, right? Because they kind of got the momentum. And I think Somi had to back. And so maybe walk me out through that kind of last sequence. I think you recognize Sonya had to back, correct? And
yes, we noticed that Sonya was back. I don't entirely remember exactly what forced her to. I assume Code Samuro did, because that's, again, the way that map seems to go.
Yeah, I think you had captured the boss, and then there was waves crashing. And so even though the waves, it can regen, you can't completely ignore it, right? Because the scaling eventually does kind of overwhelm the. And so they did that because they got 2 kills on you, right? And then they also got top boss, and so they had an opportunity actually to secure the objective and potentially ride that to the win. And so kind of like that last sequence there, did you say, hey, we see Sonya, we need to just go in, or what was the communication like at the end?
I think it was we actually got the Stukov first on that. It was we saw the Sonya back, and we said we can go look for a hook, and then I think Stukov stepped up just a little bit too far. We punished, and then Samuro came in and cleaned up on the backside. I think is what happened there at the end, if I remember right.
Yeah. And you did a good job of picking out Stukov. Oh, this time, though, both healers did not have fun. Looking at the stats, both healers died 6 times, so it wasn't a fun game to be a healer in this particular matchup. But you were able to get the event. Go ahead.
The leap combo is deadly for Anduin.
I will say, I was, for the purposes of viewership, sad we didn't see the Crater internal feed combo, because that would have been. Were you thinking that? Because I was like, they're going this, right?
It didn't cross my mind.
Oh,
now I'm scared.
I was like, they have to go that. You have to go Crater internal feast. Like, you just have to, and they didn't. So
it's like a knockoff dirty bathtub.
Yeah, and so, anyways, you were able to kind of secure the objective, get some picks, and then obviously end on your terms. But anyways, with that, I'm trying to look at the standings. I think you are kind of in the middle, right? Oh, no, you won 3 games, right? So this is your 3rd matchup or 2nd matchup?
This is the 3rd.
That was the 3rd, okay.
We won the first 2-1, lost the second 1-2, and then have the 2-0 here. Okay,
so that's going to bring you up to kind of almost to 2nd place. That's obviously there's a lot of moving parts because of matchups. So is there any matchups in the future you're looking forward to?
Yeah, we've been scrimming with Heavy Group Therapy and Bad Rats, and they're friends of ours. We like playing with them, and it'll be fun to play them in a serious game.
Great. But with that,
we got a former teammate up on LTK as well. So
yeah, we have that as well. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so a little
fun ones.
So a little Luka Doncic going back to play their former team, right?
Yeah, a little grudge match.
All right. So with that, I'll leave the floor for you if you have any shout outs or anything you want to close off our stream or cast with.
You can go ahead, Cyanide. I'll let you do that.
Oh, I was checking what times the dads play because I'm not sure, but our sister squad, the HoTS dads, I'm sure have a game coming up here sometime.
Yeah, awesome. And my mom. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Shout out to Mom.
I'm sure she's listening.
And thanks, Dad. Whichever you're chicken.
Both are very proud. Are you winning? Right?
Absolutely.
All right. So with that, again, congratulations on your 2-0 domination, and good luck with the rest of the season. Maybe I'll catch you in a future cast as well.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for picking it up last minute.
Yeah. And thank you for during with my infamous last second cast pickup, but it was very fun, and thanks again.
You
Yeah,
pulled
thank
it
you.
off. Great job. Thanks.
All right. So, with that concludes our cast for this evening. I believe we do have one more matchup. It's going to be on Raka's stream. It looks like they're about to get going. So likely, what I'm going to be doing is sending off those who are sticking around. If you're interested in continuing watching some NGS action, let me look at the schedule real quickly. We do have Roll One Esports versus Clouded Minds. They're about to be starting in about 5 minutes, or they should be starting in 5 minutes. It looks like. Yes. And so it looks like they're in the lobby for coin tossing. So that's likely going to be coming up shortly. I guess I'll move up this channel for those who are watching. I'll be rating Raka's channel. So, but again, thank you very much for those who watched today. It was a very exciting matchup. Lots of punching, lots of throwing, counter throwing, judo, right? And with that, I will be passing you off to Raka for the Division B West matchup between Roll One and Clouded Minds, Roll One Esports and Clouded Minds. And so they're going to be getting started shortly. But again, thank you very much for joining me this evening, and enjoy the next matchup if you're going to stick around. Otherwise, I'll see you next time in the Nexus. Have a good one.